Gotta be honest, it's happened. Number 30, and it's the first time it's happened. I sat talking to the camera and it wasn't recording. So this is technically not my first take. First time it's happened. That's pretty good. It's funny that it happens at number 30. I was gonna have a big spiel about how I've done 30 of these and it's going really well. Yeah, it's still going well, but yeah, I thought it was funny timing. Anyhow, nonetheless, now to repeat myself. Oh goodness. Well, look, there's two parts to this today. First part is just a quick reflection on from doing 30 of these, and then the second part is specifically for you agency owners. I've got something that's very top of mind based on a LinkedIn post I did today. So anyway, how do I feel about doing 30 of these videos? I'll be really honest, I am quite happy and quite proud. What am I proud of? The consistency and the fact that I flicked on a camera and then recorded myself for 30, well, basically 30 working days. Obviously the big one is hit and publish. You know, I really enjoy it. I do think the thing I'm most surprised about is actually the number of people that aren't friends or mates or former colleagues, the number of genuine people that are in the agency world or an agency owner that have said they've watched some of these and have then reached out and sent me a message about them. I mean, it's great. I've actually got booked in a couple of calls because of this. Maybe they're encouraging people to, maybe me doing these is encouraging people to reach out. I'm not sure. I think it certainly is not hurting. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe people watch these for a bit of insight to my business. Maybe they watch them to catch an additional bit in terms of the agency side. Maybe it's pure entertainment. I don't know about that one. But anyhow, yeah, it's good. There's no reason we won't hit 100 now. My ambition with this is, as I said at the start, I want to do 100 of these. That'll take me up to the 1 year mark roughly in running the business, and I think that'll be a nice jumping off point to either continue doing it the way I'm currently doing it or to do it in a different way. So anyway, that's that. Feeling good on this front. How else are we doing? Was meant to be 4 intro calls today. Had 3. They all went well, all very different outcomes. So, 1 potential client, for sure, hopefully can do a discovery. 2, interesting business / agency. Not sure it's quite right time, but we'll see. And number 3 was just an agency owner that's well beyond where I would typically start helping people. They're doing really well, and yeah, it's just nice to chat to them. So the 4th one was meant to be probably similar to number 2 in that they might be a little bit early, I think, in terms of size, but you never know with these things until you speak to people. There's always power in just having a conversation. So that is what's happened today. Beyond that, I did the usual this morning, got some content prepped, again all set. I didn't do any pipeline this morning, didn't really need to, off the back of yesterday. Tied up a few more emails, spoke to one client, and then now it's just a case of finishing up plans for March. And once that's done, yeah, tomorrow there really isn't too much on the cards, which is nice. I've had a very good week in terms of getting the key things done. My win the week is going to be complete by end of day today, which is a fantastic feeling. Yeah, so really good on that front for sure. It's obviously the last day of the month as well, which is nice. It's a nice way to wrap up the month in a, you know, I suppose a clean way. Just tick the boxes in terms of the stuff I wanted to achieve. So other than that, anything coming up business wise for me? Not particularly. Okay, let's get into the main point I have today. So I just did a LinkedIn post about this, and this is now very much geared, if you're an agency owner, this is all about you. So listen up, I guess. Turn the volume up. When I work with people, when I work with agency owners, the first thing I mention to them is I say, look, you know, from my perspective, getting the founder sorted is really, really important, because everything else comes after that. When you're an agency of a certain size, if the founder isn't operating in the right way or functioning in the most effective way that can benefit the business, then everything else is always going to be a little bit off in my eyes. And equally, the agency will just not have the opportunity to grow in the same way it might if the founder was functioning in the most efficient way. So what does that mean? Basically the most common thing I do with founders at the start is help them get out of the day-to-day. Now what this doesn't mean is you just drop everything. You know, I saw a great post earlier today from a guy that would do a similar thing to myself, and he said you're never going to have enough time, so you have to just accept it and do with what you can, basically. And he's right. You're never going to have 40 to 45 hours in a week as an owner to do just the one thing you want to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have to find ways to carve out time in the week for you to grow the business. Because if you're not growing the business, nobody is. And that's a simple reality in my eyes. Even if you have people in the business who are, you know, have a bit of equity, or maybe, I don't know, whatever the arrangement might be, even they at times will be unmotivated or not that interested in growing the business because it's not theirs. They don't own it. It's very different. I said this in like one of my early videos. I said it's very different from being a part owner or having a percentage of equity in something and actually being the owner. That level of ownership is something that's very, very tough to replicate. So if a founder is in a position where they're stuck doing the work or stuck with the clients or in the weeds, the business will be struggling to grow at the pace it might be capable of. And generally that could be the spark that ignites frustration or stagnation or difficulties for founders down the line. So if you think of a founder that comes to me today and says, I'm not growing, I'm in the weeds, I'm kind of frustrated and stressed, I don't really know where to go with this, I would take a view that there are things that should have happened or could have happened between 6 and 9 months, maybe 6, 9, 12 months ago, that haven't happened, that then have brought us to this point. It's not just like this is a fresh thing from last month. It's very much something that you know, has been in the works or has been a problem for a while. So whenever I start working with a founder, it's really a case of asking the questions, all right, well, you know, how do we address this, basically? First of all, what do you want the agency to be? Second of all, what role do you want to play in the agency to get it towards that point? So the founder needs to be very honest with themselves about where they want to take it, and they need to be very honest with themselves about what role they're going to play in getting it to that place. Is there any reason, so question 3 is there any reason you can't do those things? And if the answer is no, there's no reason I can't, off you go. Perfect. Generally speaking, you will need to stop doing things or change how you're doing things or give some things to someone else to carve out, as I said earlier, that time to focus on the right things to help you grow the business. So from my perspective, what I hear a lot is that business isn't growing. I ask the question, all right, well, who's focused on growing it? Answer will be nobody. It's getting frustratingly simple when you look at it in that sense. Someone I used to work with used to use the phrase, what did you do today to grow the business? Nobody's trying. Is anybody asking that question in your agency? Maybe. Maybe not. You want it to be a dead set yes. You know, someone is asking that question every day. And I mean, let's be honest, if you have 10, 15 people, is it going to be anyone beyond the founder? Very unlikely. So yeah, look, why is this top of mind for me? As I said at the start, I do put this front and center when I start working with people, but I think I can add an extra layer of importance to this because it's really, really crucial that we get this right early doors. And sure, the role that the founder might play might evolve, it might change. They might do a bit more of this, a bit more of that, a bit less of this. But They will always be focused on growing the business, or they should be. And if they aren't, they need to get somebody doing that. So anyway, I'm just thinking, like, am I saying all the same things I said when I did the first take? I think I am, or I think I have. I think I said this a lot quicker, actually. That's kind of interesting. Anyhow, that's really the main thing in my mind for today. So, you know, in a nutshell, agency owners, get them out of the day today, but also be honest and realistic for yourself that what that really means is 5, 10, 15 hours. It doesn't mean 40 hours all in on something, at least not initially. And yeah, beyond that, just I think the sooner I can do that with people, the better. And I do think that's part of the root cause of a lot of difficulties that people have within their agency. So anyway, yeah, as I said, I did a LinkedIn post about that. You might see it on there in a bit more detail. I think that's probably it though. That's probably it for today. Okay, look, I'm amped up now, but I just need to calm down and finish my planning for March for clients. So that's all I'll be up to for the rest of the day. I'll be back tomorrow. It will be March, which is brilliant. And yeah, just looking at my calendar, I've got a 6-month anniversary of a client tomorrow, so I'll have to give him a ring. We'll have a big celebration about that. But anyhow, I will chat to you tomorrow.